Baby Bus.
The Princess and the Wanderer. One night, a homeless wanderer was walking in the forest. Cold and hungry, he suddenly came upon a sack.
Let me see what is in this huge sack. A pumpkin? What use is this?
The wanderer gnawed on the pumpkin. Chomp, 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 until nothing was left.
Let me see what else is in this sack.
The wanderer turned the sack upside down, and he found a tiny candle in the bottom of it. He pocketed the candle and went on his way. After walking for a day and a night, he arrived at a small town. It was late at night, but there was not a single light in this whole town. He pulled out his candle, and the moment he lit it, a dog with eyes as big as teacups appeared before him.
My master, what is your command?
What's happening? Can this candle be magical? It would be wonderful if this dog could find me some gold coins.
Hearing this, the dog slipped away in a flash. It returned a few minutes later with a sack of gold coins in its mouth. The wanderer was so happy, he danced with joy.
I've picked up some treasure! Ha ha!
Now that he had money, the wanderer began to live a life of extravagance. He ate the most delicious food and slept in the softest bed. But he still had one more desire: to meet a beautiful princess. There was a legend about a princess living in a castle. Her hair was soft as silk, her skin was whiter than snow, and her eyes were as dark as black pearls. She loved to wear a sparkling dress and sit on her balcony, looking into the distance.
It would be wonderful if I could meet the princess.
As he was saying this, the wanderer lit his candle, and the dog, with eyes as big as teacups, appeared.
What is your command, my master?
I wish to meet the princess, even if it's just once.
The dog ran out at once. A little later, it came back with the princess, sound asleep, lying on its back. The wanderer exclaimed in surprise,
This is such a lovely princess!
Before daybreak, the dog took the princess back to the castle. Later that morning, the princess woke up.
I dreamt that I was lying on the back of a dog with eyes as big as teacups. It's like this dream really happened. What can this be?
The princess decided to get to the bottom of things. She was very clever, and she came up with a very good plan. She said to her cook,
Prepare me a noodle as long as a river. I'll tie the noodle to my waist. If a dog really comes to carry me on its back tonight, you can follow the noodle to find me, and then I'll know who is making the dog carry me away.
The next night, the wanderer lit the candle, and the dog with eyes as big as teacups appeared before him again. The wanderer told the dog,
I miss the princess very much. If I could just look at her, I would feel the world was a wonderful place. Can you help me, my good doggy?
So the dog went to the castle and carried the princess off. This was an extremely clever dog. When it saw the noodle tied around the princess's waist, its eyes started rolling.
This is a clever princess. She knows how to use the noodle as a marker. But I'm cleverer. I know what to do.
Saying that, the dog with eyes as big as teacups gobbled up the long noodle in a jiffy. Slurp, slurp.
Delicious. And now the cook won't be able to find us.
When the princess woke the next morning, she thought,
I have to find the person who is making the dog carry me away.
That day, the princess had another good idea.
Even though that dog is very clever, the night is very dark. The dog with eyes as big as teacups won't be able to see what's on the ground.
With this in mind, she sewed an exquisite little pouch with a few pieces of cloth. She filled it with flour and tied it to her waist. Then she cut a small hole in the bottom of the pouch.
This way. Wherever I go, flour will spill on the ground. I will surely catch the person who is making the dog carry me away.
That night, the wanderer lit the candle again. the dog with eyes as big as teacups appeared, and the wanderer said to the dog,
I wonder what the princess is doing today. I'd like to see her again. Can you help me, my good doggy?
So, the dog returned to the castle and carried the princess back. This time, the dog with eyes as big as teacups was a little complacent.
I've carried the princess away so many times and haven't been discovered. I'm an extremely clever dog. I'm such an outstanding dog.
It didn't even notice that it was spilling flour onto the ground all the way from the castle to the wanderer's house. In the morning, the princess woke up, leading a group of soldiers. She followed the trail of flour straight to the wanderer's house.
So, it was you who made the dog with eyes as big as teacups carry me here. Now tie him up.
The wanderer was about to light his candle to make the dog with eyes as big as teacups come to help him, but he found that he had used up the candle and it could not be lit again. He was thrown in jail for 3 days. When he was released, he learned that his gold coins and big house had vanished. The magic had disappeared when the candle had burned out. The wanderer returned to his poverty-stricken, penniless self.
No!